Welcome back. The Memphis Academy of Civic Engagement is back. It is a multi-week course sponsored by the city and Memphis Mayor Paul Young, designed to connect residents with their local communities and government. Here to talk more about the program and how you can get involved is Dr. Reginald Boyce, Director of the Office of Community Affairs and Special Assistant to Mayor Paul Young. Dr. Boyce, welcome back to the News at 3. Good to see you as always.
Always great seeing you.
All right, let's just break this down.
Okay.
Let's just set the stage here. This is not my grandfather's civics lesson.
No,
is it not?
This is not grandfather's. This is not your social studies class.
Okay, all right. What are we talking about here?
So what we have is a 7-week program, 6 weeks, where we discuss several topics, and I'll tell you about that. And the 7th week is where we have our graduation, and we engage, we activate, we graduate those participants, and the goal is to get them involved in community. So some of the sessions that we have, we talk about dollars and cents. A lot of people don't understand. They hear budget season.
Yeah.
You hear that all the time around the government, right? Budget season, budget. Well, what does that mean? What does it mean when tax increase takes place? What does it mean when this money gets moved to this? So our goal is to help you understand how your dollars work in the city of Memphis.
That makes a lot of sense, because a lot of times, you know, when we hear about something like this, and especially in Memphis and Shelby County, we have a city mayor, we have a county mayor. You kind of break all these type of roles down for us.
That's the most important thing, because number one, people start to blame or hold the wrong people accountable. So we get calls all the time about with the city of Memphis, something that's going on with the school system, what's going on with 201 Poplar, and we'll say, well, hey, we want to hear the concern, but that's not the responsibility of the city. A lot of people don't understand what the county is responsible for, what the city is responsible for, and so our goal is to break it down so you can know who to call, who to share your real concerns with, and let's get some real solutions.
What about maybe even talking about the power of voting and the role that we each have going to the polls?
Yes, sir, and that is very important, because see, the one goal is to get you to the booth to vote, but the other piece is how do we get you involved? Representation matters. So it's one thing to vote for a mayor, vote for a council person, but in order for real change to take place, we have to be present. We have to be a part of those council meetings. We have to be a part of the events that's taking place. And so we try to make sure that our participants understand that your presence, representation matters. There's power in government, and the government is not them, meaning the mayor, city council, and other officers. It's us. We are part of the local government, and you can't do it without people.
That's why we have to be engaged as citizens, do we not? So how long does this program work? Is it several weeks? And how exciting is it? Because again, if you want to pull people in, they want to make sure they're not going to fall asleep, doze off.
Let me tell you, first of all, you're not going to fall asleep because we're going to have food involved.
There you go.
So there's always food involved. But and we also do headshots, right? So everybody comes in, we give them a headshot, they get pictures. But then it's a 6-week program. It's hybrid, so there are some that's going to be in person, and then others that are virtual. So we make sure we try to meet everybody where they are, and we only have enough slots for about 30 people, and so it's first come, first serve. So we're really asking everybody to go ahead and put the applications in. We usually have a waiting list, but again, it's not a boring class at all. We have individuals from the city that will come and talk about the roles that they play, so you learn more about what the mayor does, what COOs.
So you really bring some of these folks there so you can actually see them in person and meet them.
Absolutely. You hear their voice and you can ask the questions. And we've literally seen some of the changes. So Chief Adams, shout out to our COO, there are some suggestions that our last participants made that during this last budget season, Chief Adams put them in place. And so some of these things, I mean, really there's some real game-changing opportunities here. Some become board members.
That's what I wanted to ask you. I want to put you on the spot here. Can this potentially lead to a pipeline? Because a lot of folks will say, yeah, I'll go there. I want to attend this class, this course. But what else is in it for me? Could it potentially lead to a job or something?
A career, absolutely. A pipeline to a board or commission seat. Again, we have right now, even in our communications teams, one of the former participants of MACE works with our comms team.
Wow.
There's a pipeline.
Wow. Wow. What are some of the stories, Dr. Boyce, that you've heard maybe from some recent graduates over the years? What do they say about actually having been a part of this and what it's really meant for them?
Yeah, so a lot of them are really excited and they want to see it scale up obviously more. But one of the things that a couple of individuals I spoke with, they're now interested in running for local government. They're interested not only just being a part of it, but maybe even being a lobbyist some kind of way in other areas. And so again, that's not our job to create, but it's just to get that spark, that interest. Like, how can you be a part of change? How can you be a part of the direction that the mayor mayor is trying to take the city in it. So it's just a beautiful thing, and I really want to give a shout out to our mayor for partnering.
As I listen to you, is this something for somebody, let's say 60, 70 years old, or maybe somebody as young as 20, 25, 30?
All
Who
ages.
needs to be a part of this and why?
Anyone that can vote. So anyone that can vote. So obviously we start at 18, but anybody who has an interest in being an active participant and changing the dynamics of Memphis, you need to be a part
And I
of
know you said there are not a lot of slots, so how do you kind of pick and choose, and how much is this going to cost me?
Yeah, so it's free. That's number one. This is free. This is all what the mayor is giving back to the city. But we look at individuals who can really commit themselves to each week. So if you're someone that says, I can only come to 3 or 4 of the classes, well, this is not the cohort for you at this time. We really want people that can say, hey, I want to be a part of all 6 sessions. I want to graduate, and I'm ready to be a part of it ASAP. And we have it in the fall. We have it in the spring. Now, you're the first person I'm telling you this to, all right?
All right, talk to me, Dr. Woods. I'm listening.
But we are looking and considering other ways. How can we do this on a larger scale, not just for 18 and up, but how can we start talking to young people early on about civics? And maybe there's some things we can do in the summer that kind of scale this up as well. So we're
Civics in Memphis changing
yes,
big
sir.
time.
Yes, sir. We want this to be a
Congressional
game
voice.
changer nationally.
We're going to make it happen.
Let's make it happen.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
All right.